Have you ever wondered how cult ambush works for the Gene Stealer cult? Is it a reserve unit? Is it not a reserve unit? Does the Omni Scramblers work against it? What about Canis Rex and how he interacts with his secondary missions? Secret missions? Have they bothered you in figuring out exactly how many points you can have once you start them? What about actions? What you can do under action parameters and what you can't do? Well, stay tuned to Onslaught Gaming 40K, and this is Rapid Fire Tactics 11. And we're back, my peoples, to Onslaught Gaming 40K, and this is Rapid Fire Tactics episode 11. We're going to talk about a few things as we have pictured here. So, there are a couple things that we want to cover when we're speaking about Canis Rex, okay? Specifically, when we're talking about using Sir Hector. In Assassination, once the Canis Rex model is destroyed, you get the point because it's based on models, all right? As you can see in Assassination, it says models from your opponent's army was destroyed. So if you're fighting against it, or if you're the owner of Canis Rex, your opponent will get the points for assassination for destroying just the Canis Rex model, even though Sir Hector is not killed yet. And this is why. When we're reading through using Sir Hector, when your Canis Rex model is destroyed, Sir Hector is treated as a model disembarking from a destroyed transport. So there are two different models. Set up Sir Hector within 3 inches of Canis Rex model before it is removed. Sir Hector then uses the profile, war gear, abilities, and keywords shown on his datasheet, but cannot be selected as the target of any of your stratagems other than core stratagems. Your Canis Rex unit, remember it says unit now, is not considered to be destroyed until Sir Hector is also destroyed. All right? So the assassination secondary mission rule states that once a model is destroyed, you get 5 points. So once Canis Rex is destroyed, your opponent, or you if you're fighting against it, gets 5 points. You do not have to kill Sir Hector as well. All right? So just wanted to make sure that everyone understands that there's a different wording of model and unit when it comes to this in particular. We're going to talk a little bit later of how that can be circumvented with keywords that are in bold. All right. Now, for the bring it down secondary, this is not a true statement for what we were just talking about previously. Because in bring it down, it is unit, and it's unlike assassination, and his rules are detailed in the previous page. Also, if you started recover assets and Canis Rex the model is destroyed, you still continue the action as the unit is not destroyed. Recover assets says the unit, and nowhere section does it state in bold that it has to be a model. It says unit. And because Canis Rex and Sir Hector are a unit, you can hop out and still continue recover assets. Where again, the keyword is unit and is used to recover the assets. Remember that, everyone. That way, once you're playing with Canis Rex, and I know he's a challenge, right? And he has different rules when it comes to different secondary missions. But make sure to understand the wording that is used so you know how to better utilize Canis Rex and Sir Hector. So another rule I wanted to talk to everyone about is something very contentious in the Warhammer community. Actions. Some cards feature actions that certain units can perform. Each action states which units can perform it, when it is started and completed, and what the effects of completing it are. A unit cannot start to perform an action if one or more of the following apply to that unit. If it's an aircraft, it can't do an action. If it's battle shock, it can't do an action. If it has an OC characteristic of 0, it can't do an action. If it's within engagement range of one or more enemy units, unless it's Titanic character unit. And that has to be Titanic character. It can't be like a Khorne Lord of Skulls, which only has Titanic to do it. So it has to be something like Canis Rex, which we just finished talking about. If it advanced or fell back this turn, it can't complete an action. It is not eligible to shoot this phase, including units that have already been selected to shoot this phase. If a unit starts to perform an action until the end of the turn, that unit is not eligible to shoot or declare a charge. Just to break that down real quick while we're here, okay? It does not give you the eligibility to shoot or declare a charge whatsoever. That means you cannot voluntarily quit an action by simply choosing to do a shoot or declare a charge. You just can't do it. You can't pick it whatsoever. All right? Continuing on. Unless it's a Titanic character unit, in which case, until the end of the turn, that unit cannot start to perform an action and is not eligible to declare a charge. It's telling you that you're not eligible. So you're not even able to do it to stop that action whatsoever. You can't voluntarily do it. Continuing on. If a unit performing an action makes a move excluding pollen and consolidation moves or leaves the battlefield, that action cannot be completed. All right? So anytime you try to leave the table or do a reaction move, those things you can potentially do to stop that action because it doesn't say that you're not eligible to do that. It just says you can't do that. But you can never voluntarily shoot or declare a charge to stop that action. You just can't choose it. You know how I was telling you earlier, there are some keywords there are in bold that can allow you to circumvent some particular rules. Here's one of them. When it comes to the Neuro Tyrant, it's another rule that the community members really confuse. But look for the bold keywords for clarity. If you have a unit that has a character attached with the monster or vehicle bold keyword, you only get the points for the models that carry the bold keyword, not the whole unit when it comes to bring it down. For example, if you have a Neuro Tyrant and it's attached to Zoanthropes, when you're calculating your points for bring it down, even though it's a monster unit, because the Neuro Tyrant shares it to the unit, you only get it because when you're reading in the bring it down section, each time an enemy bold monster or bold vehicle unit is destroyed, you get these amount of points. All right. Yes, I understand it says unit, and everyone gets this confused and they're like, oh, well, it should be the entire unit. It doesn't work like that because the keywords themselves are bold and you only get it for that particular model or models that are bold in that unit. So, once again, if you have a Neuro Tyrant that is a monster in bold, and you have Zoanthropes that do not have the monster keyword in bold, you only get the points for the Neuro Tyrant. Hopefully, this is a good clarification for everyone trying to understand this rule. Okay, here's another rule that's been very challenging to a lot of community members when it comes specifically to secret missions. A lot of people seem to think that you can just have any arbitrary amount of primary mission VP in order to do a secret mission. If you only read the first paragraph, that's exactly what you're going to gather from that. You got to read the remaining bullet points. Let's go ahead and read together. At the end of the third battle round, starting with the player who has the second turn, if your primary mission VP total is less than or equal to your opponent's, you can choose to undertake a secret mission. If you do, follow the next three bullet points. All right? So a lot of people think that if you have 40 primary points and your opponent has 40 or 41 primary points, you can actually do a secret mission. It doesn't entirely work like that. Let's follow along on the bullet points. Secretly select one card from your secret mission deck and place it to one side face down. Also, let me give you some clarity on this when you're going to a tournament. You must let your opponent know that you're using a secret mission. It is not a secret that you're using a secret mission. It is a secret in what secret mission you are using. It's just great game etiquette. You always want to do this. Moving on to the second bullet point. You cannot score more than 20 VP from the primary mission card. Any excess VP awarded above this maximum are lost. It details it right there in the second bullet point. You cannot score more than 20 VP from the primary mission card. All of them. It doesn't mean just one card, any card, all cards. All right? You can only score 20 primary mission points. That means then you and your opponent have to be equal at 20 primary mission points, or they have to be above you by 1 point or more when it comes to the 20 VP. Moving on to the next bullet point. At the end of the battle, reveal your secret mission card to your opponent. If you achieve the goal described in your card, you score VP as described on that card, which is usually, if not all of them, 20 VP. Right now in Pariah Nexus is only 20 VP. So you get a maximum of 20 VP. But also, let me allow you to understand something as well. If you're currently only at 15 VP in primary, you're allowed to continue to get up to 20 VP in primary before you activate that secret mission card. All right. For a total of still 40 points. If you get anything over that, it's still only 40 points or 20 points for primary. Just wanted to make sure everyone understood this entirely. So you can only get a maximum of 20 primary and 20 for the secret mission card for a total combination of 40 VP. Oh, he's back. If you've watched my previous videos, Rapid Fire Tactics, you've seen this model before. We're talking about Gene Stealer Cults once again. It always seems that a lot of people have some challenges when it comes to Gene Stealer Cult rules. That's what I'm here for. I want to make sure that there's no disparity between novice and expert level players. So let me help everyone out. When it comes to Cult Ambush, when using the Cult Ambush army rule, units that are added back to your army do not count as reserves of any kind. So you're not affected by things like Infiltrators, Omni Scramblers, or other abilities that are similar to that. Additionally, they are not able to make use of the rapid ingress stratagem or use of any abilities while off the table. They may still be selected by things like Oath of the Moment while they're off the table. And Oath of the Moment works just about all the time, as everyone knows, but we're not talking about Oath of the Moment, right? Remember, these units do not count as reserve units, so you get the benefit of not being affected by Omni Scramblers, but you get the disadvantage of not being able to use rapid ingress stratagems or any other abilities while you're off the table. All right. So those are the things that I wanted to cover with everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed. Give me 1 second and I'll give you my outro. Thank you very much to everyone who watched and stayed tuned throughout the entire show. Hopefully, I was able to help you out with a couple of challenging rules throughout the world of Warhammer 40K. This is my passion. This is my love. This is what I get to do all the time when I'm running events for things like Onslaught 2K, Grand Onslaught, whatever number it might be. Grand Onslaught 9 should be coming up very soon next year. Grand Onslaught 10, 11, and so forth. You can also check me out at Crucible. As always, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the show, the platform. Give me a lot of love, as I would really appreciate it very much. And don't forget, Onslaught Gaming 40K, where victory is just a strategy away. Take care, everyone.